Hi everybody, welcome to this week's My Weekly Rage Fix, a special Shavuos edition brought to you on a Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing okay. Just want to share with you a few minutes, or a little longer, about the holiday of Shavuos. The big question everybody asks, and everybody who looks into the Torah just briefly about the holiday of Shavuos asks, is why is there no specific mitzvah of the day of Shavuos, on the day of Shavuos, or for the day of Shavuos? We know that Passover, we eat matzah and other things. We have a whole Seder commemorating the night that we went out of Egypt. Sukkot, we sit in the tabernacle, in the hut, and we also shake a lulav and an esrog, the palm branch, and the esrog fruit, the citron fruit. And Hanukkah, we light a menorah. On Shavuos, which is a biblical holiday, we don't find any particular mitzvah in the Torah given at all. The big question is, why not? And what are we supposed to do, or does Hashem want us to do anything? Of course, everybody knows that sometimes we eat cheesecake, and we also stay up all night, and we learn Torah. But you won't find that anywhere in the Torah. That is an obligation that we have to do. So the question is, why not? And what is behind the different customs that we do have? And it could be that one of the answers is, I actually heard this from Rabbi Wallerstein, that Shavuos is a time for us as a Jewish people to renew our vows. As everybody knows, Shavuos was the culmination of the Jewish people going out of the land of Egypt. We went out, and then eventually we stood by a mountain, and where we received the Torah. The greatest wedding ever to take place took place with millions of guests there, and there was an incredible light show by God Himself with all His lightning, and everybody was aware of what was going on. The entire Ten Commandments were translated into every single language. That way everybody around the world knew about it. It was an incredible spectacle to behold. And we were the bride, and Hashem, as it were, was our groom. And we were married that night. It's actually a beautiful contract. We read a certain segment of what's called the Tikkun Chatzos, something we say the night of Shavuos. It's actually written in there, the actual marriage contract between us and Hashem. So it was a beautiful spectacle that night, and the greatest wedding ever to take place between Hashem and His Jewish people. Shavuos night, therefore, is a time for us to renew our vow to Hashem and reaccept that marriage. And as any good couple like to do every once in a while, they renew their friendship, they renew their marriage, they renew their dedication to one another. So the time of Shavuos is not really about commemorate this, commemorate that, do this, do that. It's to feel exactly like you felt on the night of your wedding, and that was happiness. And therefore there's no mitzvah that night other than just to be happy. V'samachta b'chagecha, be rejoiced in your holiday. And if any bride or groom spoke to each other, what can I do for you that tonight, at the night of the wedding? They would just say, I just want you to be happy. Hashem just wants us to be happy. However, for us, as a good wife of Hashem, that's not good enough for us. And as any person in a relationship can say, they always want to do a little bit more. And what we want to do is we want to remember that night, and we want to remember it well. The night that we got married and the night that you will get married is not just a night for that particular night, but it's always a good idea to recreate that night, in a sense, if you could. So when you look at photo albums, or if you look at the wedding video, or if you know that there's something special that your wife liked, or you look at the ring, you're always recreating the scene. It's always a good idea if a person sometimes gets in a little bit of a strife with their spouse or whatnot. Just open up the wedding album and you remember that person that you got married to. Now, recreating the scene is what it's all about. Because Mount Sinai that night, it was bedecked with beautiful flowers, and as a matter of fact, when the Jewish people came out of Egypt, they couldn't use the pots and pans that they had, and therefore all they were able to do was eat dairy products and not meat products, which is why we do. So these are all different things that shows Hashem that we are trying to recreate that special night that was for us, the night that Hashem took us as His bride. And that's the idea of Shavuos. Shavuos is just recreating the marriage. So on a biblical level, Hashem wants us to just be happy, like any good groom wants their bride, just wants you to be happy. And she just wants to do a little bit for her husband afterwards and always try to recreate that night. So when we renew our vows, we're renewing our dedication to Hashem, and we re-accept those dedications that we initially accepted. Another idea could be that Passover is a time when we eat matzah because we are commemorating. And Hanukkah is a time that we'll light the menorah because we are commemorating what happened the night of the miracles of Hanukkah. But Shavuos, even though we got married that night and we're trying to remember that incredible day of receiving the Torah, but the learning of the Torah and our strengthening our commitment to Torah is not just for the night of Shavuos. It's a yearly thing. It's a daily thing, rather, that happens throughout the year. And therefore, there can't be a specific focus on it too much because tonight's that night. Okay, so I'll do good tonight, and then the next night, drop back off. So the night of Shavuos, if we do have a custom to stay up late, and we stay up the whole night and we learn Torah. And of course, unfortunately, if we're going to be talking instead and going outside and smoking a cigarette and having a chat, it's kind of a slap in the face. Imagine if a couple get married, and after they leave the wedding, they go to their hotel room, and that night he pulls out his cell phone, or his friend is next door, and they go down to the lobby instead. That marriage is not going to last too well. It's not going to be too good. So Shavuos is a time to reawaken inside of all of us our commitment to Torah, and that should stay with us the entire year until the next Shavuos. Hope everybody enjoys their Shavuos. It should be a sweet Shavuos, and that's why another reason why we eat sweet things, because it should remind us of the sweetness of Torah. And hope everybody enjoys it, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.